What is up, guys? Welcome to my channel. I am so excited to have you here for the launch of my very first video. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A for you guys. I asked you guys for some questions on my Instagram and you guys really came through. So I'm going to be answering those for you today. But before I do that, I just want to share with you guys a little bit about myself in case you don't know me. So my name is Leora. My husband and I live in Southern Michigan, and we both do still work full-time jobs. He works as a buyer, and I am in commercial lending, and I get to work from home, which is such a great blessing. We are pretty involved in our church. We love our church family. We help out with our youth group, and that's one of our biggest passions is youth ministry. And so I want my channel to just be a place for you guys to come to just kind of relax, and I hope that you get some encouragement from it. I'm so happy that you've decided to join this journey with me. So let's get on into it. I'm filming this video with my phone, and I took a screenshot of like all of my the questions, and then I realized, wait, I can't look at the questions and record myself at the same time. So I had to write it down. But yeah, let's just go ahead and hop into it. So the first question that I got is how to stay consistent with eating healthy and working out. For those of you who don't know, back in, I don't even remember, was it 2019? Yeah, it was top of 2019. I started like a fitness journey. I hate to say it that way, but that's what it was. And I lost 40 pounds, and the greatest thing I've ever done for myself. And so this question, how to stay consistent with eating well and working out, I honestly don't have a great answer for you. I kind of just put my mind to it and I did it, but that's very much my personality, is like when I decide I'm gonna do something, I just do it, especially when it came to my health and wellness. And so I just did it, and I kept in mind my goal, like what my goal was, and that I wasn't gonna be able to reach my goal if I wasn't, eating well, or if I wasn't, getting my body some physical exercise. So eating is 80% of it. That's what affects you the most, what you're putting into your body. And so I'm not saying that you shouldn't like indulge every once in a while, because you should, and I do. I eat pizza, I eat cake, I eat all the good things, probably more than I should now. But that's how I stay consistent, is just constantly reminding myself of what my goal was, and that in order to reach that goal, if that's something I still wanted to do, then I had to, take time out of my day, 30 minutes out of my day to work out. I had to make better eating choices. I had to eat maybe a little bit less. Instead of eating like half of a pizza, maybe eat a couple slices, So that is my biggest tip for that. The next question is how to curl my hair. So I'm assuming this person, because they asked it when my hair was done like this, I'll put a little picture. I just curl it with a straightener, nothing fancy. I am going to be fully transparent and say that I don't really know how to curl my hair with an actual curling iron. My stylist does a great job. She's amazing, and I love when I get my hair done by her because it just looks so good and she curls it so well. But I don't know how to do all that. So I curl mine with a straightener. It's the Aaallll. I don't even know like the full name, but I'll link it for you if you're interested. And Aaallll always has such good sales. So I would, if you don't want to spend the money on it now, I would wait and just like keep checking maybe once a week, and they'll have a sale for you. How to stay strong in your faith with tempting worldly things. Man, this is such a good question, because I feel like we live in a world where there is so much temptation, and you're constantly being told, do what's best for you, do what you want to do what your heart desires. And let's be honest, if we're constantly following what we want, then most likely we're not living the life that God has chosen for us. And so it can be easy to get caught up in that me mentality, where you're like, I'm gonna do what I want, even if it means that I am going against what the Lord has for me, even if it means that I am living in sin. And so I think that the biggest thing is just, stay in the Word. Stay in the Word and stay in prayer. Something that I've done that a couple of ladies who are older than me have really encouraged me to do is to get one Bible verse. And I encourage you to pray about this. Pray about a verse. Ask the Lord to put a verse on your heart, and He will. And memorize that verse for whenever you are feeling tempted to maybe indulge in something worldly. If you are feeling tempted to fall back into that sin, into that struggle, and just keep that verse top of mind, and just verbally repeat it to yourself over and over again, because there's something so powerful about saying it out loud loud, because Satan can hear that. Satan can hear you combating his lie with the truth. And there's something so powerful about that. So I would encourage you to just get that verse, memorize it, and combat those worldly desires with that, because what better thing to combat worldly things with than the word of God. It's so good. And so I would encourage you to do that. That's my biggest piece of advice. I am tempted. I'm a human being. I am tempted, and so that's what I do. Tempted and tried by Satan. So I keep that verse top of mind, and I just repeat that to myself if I do have like this one-off thought that comes, and you're like, where did that come from? Nip it in the bud, because before you know it, that one-off thought can become, like 2 or 3 thoughts. It can become you falling back into that sin, that addiction, whatever it may be. And so I just encourage you to find that verse, keep it top of mind, like I said already, and just speak that over yourself in those times of temptation. I hope that helps. What do you hope to accomplish within the next 5 years? So within the next 5 years, Elijah and I will probably have a kid or 2, maybe, who knows. So I would like to have a child. We probably aren't going to move from this house. We just moved in here in September of last year. We love this place. We love the location. So I would see us staying here for quite some time unless the Lord calls us somewhere else. So I would see us here, still in the church, still helping with the youth, hopefully, and having a child. Ideally, I would not be working anymore. And then Elijah and I have kind of been talking about, like, what would it be like to own our own business, and what would it be like to work for ourselves and not for somebody else? And so a dream of ours is to be able to quit our 9-to-5 jobs and to have to make an income on something that gives us our time back. And so I would say that those are our goals. Those are our dreams for the next 5 years, is to have kids, for both of us, to not be working a 9-to-5 and to just kind of get our time back to do what we want. Right now we're working so hard to pay off our debt. We're almost done. We'll definitely be done, I would say, by the end of this year. And then our goal for the next couple of years before we start trying to have kids is traveling. We want to get a lot of travel in. Favorite food. I'm a big cheese girly, so anything with cheese in it. Mozzarella sticks, your girl can't turn down mozzarella sticks. Stuffed crust pizza, it's my weakness. I just love anything cheese, just like a cheese stick. Amazing, I love it. So cheese is definitely my favorite food, hands down. What has been your greatest experience with God? When I think about any of the greatest experiences that I've had with God, I don't know that I can choose just one, but it's when I've been in a time of just genuine worship with Him. And I think about the times where I'm here in my living room and I'm literally playing probably upper room worship music off of YouTube and just worshiping. That's where He has met me the most, and that's where I've had the best encounters with Him. And it's just spending time by myself in the secret place with Jesus is probably my greatest experience. The Lord always meets me when I am just fully surrendered to Him, and I believe that's true for everybody. The Lord will always meet you if you're fully surrendered to Him, and I just love the times that I get to be just with Him by myself, and that's just when I experience Him the best. Okay, next question. How old were you when you accepted Jesus? So I grew up in a Christian home, but I would say that I didn't really accept Jesus for myself, make that decision for myself until I was 15. What would you tell your 18-year-old self? I would tell my 18-year-old self not to worry about the little things. When I was younger, I would get caught up on the smallest things, and it just wasn't worth the time, the stress, the drama. It just was not worth it. So that's what I would tell myself, and to enjoy the moment that I'm in. I oftentimes, even now, find myself just looking forward to the next season of life instead of just enjoying where I'm at now. And so I just would tell myself to enjoy the time that I'm in that moment, and enjoy what's happening rather than constantly looking forward to the next thing. What is your vision for your channel? So my vision for this channel is just for it to be a place of encouragement and refreshment. I want people to come here and to know that it's just a space to be encouraged and to find encouragement. That's my number one goal, is to bring you guys joy, to bring you guys encouragement. How do you balance God, sleep, work, family, etc.? That's a great question, and something that I am still trying to figure out. there's times when I feel like I have it all figured out, and then there's seasons like right now where I'm like, what is balance? Like, I don't know what that is. I think it's just prioritizing what's important. Like for me, work, I obviously have to work. Like that's what I'm getting paid for. If I don't work, I don't have a job. And so I have to work. Spending time with the Lord is also important to me, and I think sometimes we overthink that. I think it is important for us to get into the Word. It is important for us to spend time with the Lord, and on those days where you're particularly busy, spend time with Him where you can. Talk to Him when you can, whether that's in your car on your way to work. If you're on the school bus, like listen to some worship music and just spend time in His presence. It's fitting it in where you can. Listen to have on the Bible app, there's an option to have it read scripture to you while you're getting ready, things like that. I think sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. It can be hard to balance all of those things, but I think it's just prioritizing what is most important. Oh yes, the age-old question. When are we having kids? So Elijah and I have been married in May, will be 4 years. And when we first got married, our initial discussion was 3 to 5 years. We would start, talking about having kids. And so we're coming up on 4, and neither of us are quite ready to have that conversation seriously yet. And so we're just gonna wait it out and just see. We're really enjoying our time with just the two of us, not having any responsibility outside of our marriage and our dog. It's really easy for us to just get up and go whenever we want to right now, and that's what we really love. We love that freedom right now, and so for the time being, we are being selfish for ourselves, and we are not gonna plan on having kids anytime super soon, but we'll see. Maybe the Lord has other plans. But to answer your question, I would say maybe in the next couple of years we'll start talking about having kids. What is your biggest dream? I would say that our biggest dream, Elijah and I's biggest dream, is to get our time back. And that's been a big topic of conversation in our home lately, is what can we do to get our time back? It's like we both work full-time jobs. I work until 5. He usually gets home around 2:45, 3 o'clock. And so it's like, I'm still working when he gets home. It's nice that I'm home, but I'm still working. And so then it's like by the time I get off, we only have X amount of hours of daylight left. What do we do with those hours? And it would just be so nice to not have to worry about that anymore, and to just have our time back to do what we want to do. And so we've been talking about ways we can do that. We've been consulting with people we know about what we can do to get our time back. I know that sounds like a silly dream, but I think that we can do a lot with the time that comes back to us, once we have some freedom. So I would say that that's collectively our dream. My biggest dream is to be a mom. And I feel like that sounds so cliche, but ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a mom. I love kids, and I am so excited to raise kids on, not on my own, because Elijah will do it with me, but for us to raise kids someday. And for me my dream is to be able to stay home and do that, to be at home with them and not have to ship them off somewhere else when I go to work. And so that's kind of where getting our time back plays into that, because if we can get our time back, then that gives me the opportunity to be at home with our kids when they're growing, for us to be at home with our kids when they're growing. And so that's definitely our biggest dream. Those were all of the questions that I had to answer today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for watching. I hope that you will come back to my next video. If you wouldn't mind, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe and like this video and leave a comment letting me know that you liked it. It would mean the world to me if you would share this video for others to see. I appreciate your guys' support. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys. Video. Nope, that was done. The little box. Do you guys hear that? It's the garage door. Elijah just got home. It's about to be pure chaos. Just be shh. That's not being quiet. Being quiet is saying no words. Aaallll, stop. Why are you the way that you are? Sorry, my dog is being a psycho. It's like, we don't have any time. Sorry. Gotta get some water. Chug a lug.